Hello and welcome back to another video. This is Demolition Racer on the Sega Dreamcast, and this was developed by Pitbull Syndicate, who were responsible for the original Destruction Derby game on the PlayStation. And I absolutely love this. I believe it was also released on the PlayStation. I suspect the Dreamcast version is far superior. And as with the first two Destruction Derby games, it's not just about finishing in a good position, it's also about causing as much damage as possible to the other cars and gaining points that way. So there are also a number of power-ups that have been introduced in this game. Some are beneficial and some actually leave you at a disadvantage. It certainly creates a bit more of a tactile or tactical feel to the races, as well as managing your energy bar, which can be replenished. There's quite a lot of ways to score points. The best ones are usually when you actually destroy the computer opposition. And sometimes it's worth just holding back and letting a few cars come by, so you've got a few more victims. You've got various viewpoints, as you would expect in a game like this, as per usual. I'm on the internal view. This is the final lap here. No runs to that car. And there we go, we'll have to see how we fared. A very short race actually. 5th place there. Will I gain any extra points into 2nd? So there we go, qualified. And we'll continue onwards. Now I have actually played this game quite a lot. I've got to the point where I'm on the industrial zone, which I believe is the last set of races in the game. And at that point you need to finish first in every race. You'll have to excuse the long loading times and the sound of the Dreamcast in overdrive. So I think you can tell that this was originally a PlayStation game. But it's just nice how things on the Dreamcast, they just seem to run at such a smooth frame rate. Go for a few of the power-ups this time. There are also explosive blocks, and you can gain yourself a large amount of points if you send the opposition flying into those. You might just see them on the left hand side there. Also really keen on the soundtrack of this game, really up my street for the most part. There's a little bit of generic rock in there which I'm not so keen on, but oh, this sort of late 90s dance music is definitely something I can appreciate. Now you can also get minus points, which is a bit of a bummer. There we go, 60 points for starting the fire. There we go, death from above, that's one of the big scorers there. This guy looks like he's on his last legs. And as you progress through the leagues, the cars do get faster and faster. The handling is a little bit strange, but it's something you definitely become accustomed to. Go on. I don't even know what happened to him. I'm getting out of here. No points for running into already destroyed cars, so that's probably something you want to avoid. Now, this game was also only released in America, as far as I know, on the Dreamcast, which seems kind of strange, but that's how these things kind of pan out, I guess. I mean, first out of 7, there's been some casualties on this track. Turbo, unleash the turbo. Run into explosives. Got to make sure I finish the race here. Certainly managing that life bar is essential. Oh no, he's saying all that, run into explosive boxes. You need to really take care now. Wall-to-wall action. Now, you also get the Destruction Derbies in the actual arenas on this game. Same sort of tactics as the original Destruction Derby, where literally your best bet is to drive around in reverse for a while. Well, I think there's no doubting I've dominated there. Although on the later stages, that sort of score wouldn't win you first place in the majority of the events. The way this game loads, you almost think it's not gonna, but it does. And weirdly enough, I have to trick my Dreamcast into believing that this is playing in composite in order for it to boot. But luckily I've got the CDX disc, which gives you a whole host of options. So far I've only found one game that I can't get to work, and that's Coaster Works, although it almost seems it would perhaps work with a VGA cable. I don't know. I can get it to load up when you select VGA in the DCX menu, but I don't get any screen, I just get the music. There's nothing there to see. I can select everything, but I just can't see it. I was an absolutely massive fan of the original Destruction Derby games. I think there's videos on my channel of the PlayStation versions. Destruction Derby 2 was pretty much the game that sold me the PlayStation. I wasn't convinced whatsoever. I had Sega Rally, I had Virtual Fighter 2, I had Virtual Cop. My friend had a PS1, he had Time Crisis, Tekken 2. And it wasn't until he showed me Destruction Derby 2 and I was like, yeah, you know what, Saturn's not doing this. And eventually I turned to the dark side and got myself a PlayStation and traded in my Sega Saturn. It was Destruction Derby 2 was the catalyst for that. And I remember just being completely blown away by the fact, you know, it was all out destruction. I'd previously seen the original Destruction Derby and indeed played it link up at a friend's house, but when I seen Destruction Derby 2, at the time, the graphics and the frame rate, it was a phenomenal game. Looking back at it now, without the rose-tinted goggles, it's probably not as good, but nostalgically, still one of my favourite games, I think. but I don't. I mean, in fact, I know Reflections were responsible for Destruction Derby 2, not the people who were Pitbull Syndicate who were responsible for this and the original game. What did I do that for? I knew that was going to happen. Bang, bang, bang. Did not finish. You've got to have your wits about you, and unfortunately I didn't there. So I'm going to leave it because the video's gone on for over 10 minutes. This is a worthy purchase in my opinion if you've got a Dreamcast. It's so much fun, and I found myself spending an awful lot of time playing this. So I thank you for watching. Hopefully I'll upload some more videos soon.